Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our literature unit for the month of May, and our featured work of literature for this month is The Three Musketeers. Maybe you've heard about this. This is a famous French novel all about loyalty and brotherhood and adventure. This is a famous adventure novel, so maybe you would consider reading it. Of course, you'd probably want to read the English or Chinese translation. If your French is good, well, go for it. Read the original French version, but we're going to talk about this in English today. So let's get to it. Let's read the entire contents of today's lesson, and we'll summarize The Three Musketeers.
In 1625 in France, young D'Artagnan leaves the countryside for Paris to join King Louis XIII's musketeers. By accident, he offends three different musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. Each one is insulted and challenges D'Artagnan to a duel. In the end, though, D'Artagnan and the three musketeers end up becoming fast friends. They are all for one and one for all. D'Artagnan learns about the rivalry between the king and the powerful Cardinal Richelieu as he gets deeply involved in royal intrigue. The cardinal presumes the queen is guilty of infidelity and treason. The Duke of Buckingham, an English nobleman and France's enemy, loves her. She reluctantly gives him a diamond sash that the king has given her and tells him to forget her. To frame the queen, Richelieu sends a spy, Milady de Winter, to steal two of the sash's diamonds. He then suggests that the king tell the queen to wear the diamonds at a royal party. D'Artagnan and his friends go on a quest to retrieve the diamonds from the Duke of Buckingham and save the queen's reputation. Athos also tells D'Artagnan the heartbreaking story of his wife, a criminal whose shoulder was branded with the image of a flower, the fleur de lis. Athos now believes she is dead. Meanwhile, D'Artagnan falls passionately in love with Milady. She is indifferent to him, though, and their relationship with each other is filled with deceit. Later, she attempts to kill him. Around this time, D'Artagnan discovers that Milady has a fleur de lis on her shoulder, thus exposing her as Athos's lost wife. The musketeers capture Milady, and she is executed for her many crimes. Surprisingly, Richelieu is impressed by D'Artagnan's perseverance and writes him a commission, proclaiming him a lieutenant of the musketeers.
Okay, everybody, it's time now for us to discuss the contents of our lesson for today. It's a summary of our featured novel, The Three Musketeers. What's a musketeer, you might be asking? Well, that's kind of like a soldier, a person who uses a musket, which is kind of like an early gun. But whenever I saw these movies of The Three Musketeers, they always had swords.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure exactly what a musketeer is in that particular sense. And none of us really knew when we were kids either. Basically, they were these three guys on horses with swords in this old Alexandre Dumas novel, The Three Musketeers. So in this novel, we've got heroism, which means when people are acting like heroes. And, of course, you all know what adventure is. So you see all that stuff in this novel. And we're going way back to 1625. That's a long time ago, 400 years or so. So in 1625 in France, young D'Artagnan leaves the countryside for Paris to join King Louis XIII's musketeers. So that's how the story begins. The main character of this novel is a fella by the name of D'Artagnan. I hope I said that right. That's a French word. And he lives in the country, probably lives on a farm or something, and he's bored out there, so he decides to head to the city. I want some adventure, and I'm going to join the army, in this case, the musketeers of the King Louis Louis XIII?
I wanted to mention a couple of things that Tom talked about. First, this word heroism is a little tricky. The pronunciation changes quite a bit when you go from hero, someone who does courageous and brave things, usually to save someone's life. When you change from hero to heroism, notice the vowel changes as well. So hero, heroism. Similar to, the hair on your head, heroism. They're pretty fun over there. And also, you'll notice that these people in the summary that we're going to be talking about all have weird names. And like Tom said, it's because they're French, and you're probably not used to it. When I read it, I said D'Artagnan because if you're speaking French, they drop that N on a lot of their words. But D'Artagnan is fine in English if that's what comes out. That's just fine. We're not exactly proper with all our pronunciation of foreign words. But yeah, D'Artagnan is his name. That D just means of that area. So what happened is in the olden days, they would have a first name and then they'd go de, and then the area they are from, their families are from. And that de, or D'Artagnan, ended up becoming a last name in modern times. So he leaves the boring countryside for Paris to join King Louis XIII's Musketeers. Kind of fun. It would be me too. I would be someone who would want to leave the countryside and go to the city. But yeah, he wanted some adventure like a lot of guys do. By accident, he didn't plan it. He didn't do it intentionally. He did it by accident. He offends 3 different musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. This Athos, Porthos, and Aramis is actually how you say it in French, but we're just going to go with more of an English pronunciation for these guys' names. So he manages to get 3 kind of dangerous guys upset at him because if you offend somebody, you've done something that angers them or makes them not like you very much. It's best not to go around offending people, especially if they can beat you up or kill you.
Right, so maybe he called them names or something like that. Oh, Artos, your mother is a hamster and your father smells like elderberries or something. You don't want to say that to people that you don't know really well. So each one is insulted and they challenge D'Artagnan to a duel. So they say, hey, because you insulted me, we're going to have a duel, which means a fight to the death. Usually they stand back to back holding pistols and then they count to 10 and then they turn around and try to shoot each other. Maybe at that time they didn't have pistols, I'm not quite sure. But in the end, though, I guess they worked out their differences and D'Artagnan and the 3 musketeers end up becoming fast friends. Oh, it was all a misunderstanding. They talked about it. They revealed their emotions. They got a counselor and stuff like that.
I doubt it.
Well, probably not. But
no.
They, put down their egos or whatever and decided, it's just a few insults. What the heck? You're just a country boy. You don't know the difference. Hey, what do you say we become buddies? So they became fast friends, or they became friends quickly. And then they had this slogan. They are all for one and one for all. That's a slogan we often hear. All of us are together for one cause, and then this cause is for everybody or the whole society.
Yeah, all for one and one for all. That's a very famous phrase for us, at least in the English language. So D'Artagnan learns about the rivalry between the king and this powerful Cardinal Richelieu. If you're a cardinal, you have a very important position in the Catholic Church. And remember, this is set in France. And a lot of the French are still Catholic, whether they go to church or not. They say they're Catholic. If you have a rivalry with someone, it means there's this huge competition between you and perhaps another school or another sports team, or maybe even a business. There's a huge rivalry, for example, between Nike and Adidas. They both sell those sneakers, and of course, they all want you to wear their tennis shoes or their running shoes. Well, there's a big rivalry between King Louis XIII and this powerful church leader, Richelieu. And what happens is D'Artagnan gets deeply involved in royal intrigue. We use this word intrigue when we're talking about something that's going on that's kind of secret, and it usually involves something illegal or something bad, but he gets involved in their rivalry, you can say.
With all these plans and stuff like that, where they're trying to embarrass each other or kill each other. And the cardinal presumes the queen is guilty of infidelity and treason. So if you presume something, that just means you think this is the case ahead of time, usually without much evidence. So he presumes the queen has been cheating on her husband. That's infidelity. That means she has a lover, someone else besides her husband. And also of treason, which means she's helping out the enemies of France and not helping out France so much. Treason. So the Duke of Buckingham, an English nobleman and France's enemy, loves her. So I guess that's the intrigue there. That's the infidelity here. We've got an Englishman, a nobleman. The English, of course, have long been the enemies of France, but he's having some kind of affair with the queen, or at least he loves her. We don't know if he or if she loves him back. And we'll continue talking about the intrigue of the French royal family in just a second, but let's take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们从今天开始连续3天都要来介绍3剑客这个小说。首先呢，里面的主角叫做 D'Artagnan， 那么呢，他是用法文的方式来念。在第一段呢，提到他呢加入了国王路易13的火枪队，而因为一些因缘际会呢，认识了其他的3位火枪队队员，最后就组成了呢这样子的一个忠实的朋友以及队伍。我们在第一段的最后一句提到 In the end, though, D'Artagnan and the 3 musketeers end up becoming fast friends. They are all for one and one for all. 那么在这里就提到最后呢，我们的主角就跟3名的火枪手最终成为忠实的朋友。在这里我们来看一下 end up End up 常常看到它也是考试的重点，可以解释成为结果成为怎么样，或者是最终成为怎么样。举例来说， The gangsters ended up in jail， 也就是说歹徒呢最后被关进了监狱。不过这几个人最后成为了忠实的朋友，那么里面最经典的句子就是 All for one and one for all， 人人为我，我为人人。第二段一刚开始就提到 D'Artagnan learns about the rivalry between the king and the powerful Cardinal Richelieu as he gets deeply involved in royal intrigue。在这里提到呢，达泰安被深深卷入皇室阴谋的时候，他得知了国王跟掌管大权的这个呢 Richelieu， 那么黎虚留枢机主教之间的竞争。我们常说 get involved in， 也就是呢卷入或者是与什么什么有关的意思，而这也就造就了后面所有故事的开展。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about the plot of the book, The 3 Musketeers. You can tell I've seen a couple of the movies they've made. So we know that there's also a rivalry or competition going on between the king and this church leader, Richelieu, and D'Artagnan gets involved himself. Now, the cardinal assumes or presumes the queen is guilty of adultery, that's infidelity. That would make her an adulteress, or if you're a guy, it would make you an adulterer. And treason, if you were committing treason against your country, you would be called a traitor and would be put to death. Actually, I think committing the crime of treason still leads to death in most countries. Your country will put you out put you down. They'll kill you. So the Duke of Buckingham, I know a lot of Americans often say Buckingham, but that's not how it's pronounced. It's Buckingham. Kind of swallow that ham, Buckingham. My brother was a missionary in England, and that was his city, Buckingham. So when he came back, he would keep saying, "You're saying it wrong." But there is a Buckingham in the United States, too. We just say it like that. But if you want to be correct, it's Buckingham. This English nobleman is supposedly the one that the Queen is having an affair with. And he loves her.
I don't think she loves him back, but in any case here it says she reluctantly gives him a diamond sash that the king has given her and tells him to forget her. So reluctantly means you don't really want to do it, but you have to. You're reluctant. Gee, I know I'm supposed to study for a test tomorrow, but I'd rather play with my phone. I'm reluctant to review my physics homework. But here she reluctantly, as an adverb here, she gives him a diamond sash. That's some kind of piece of cloth you wear around your shoulder or something like that.
It looks like a belt, but it's out of fabric.
Yep, and it's got diamonds, I guess.
Nice.
The king gave it to her as a gift or something, and she gives it to this Duke of Buckingham and says, well, you need to forget about me. Our countries are enemies and stuff like that. This just can't happen, so forget about me. And to frame the queen, Richelieu sends a spy, Milady de Winter, to steal 2 of the sash's diamonds. So Richelieu knows about this affair going on. He wants to frame the queen, make her look bad or something. Usually if you're framed, you're made to look guilty of a crime if you did not do it. I've been framed. They made it look like I killed the person, but it was somebody else. So he wants to frame her. And so he sends a spy there, Milady de Winter, and this person is supposed to steal 2 of the diamonds on the sash.
So he then suggests that the king tell the queen to wear the diamonds at a royal party. And if she does that, they're going to catch the fact that she's missing some diamonds. D'Artagnan and his friends go on a quest to retrieve the diamonds from the Duke of Buckingham and save the Queen's reputation. We'll see this word quest sometimes when somebody's going on a long and probably difficult search for something. They're looking for something. If you're talking about medieval romance or medieval books, you'll often run into this word quest that just means you're going on this big expedition. And it's usually an expedition that you're sent on by the king to accomplish some task. Well, they go on a quest to retrieve the diamonds from the Duke. So if you retrieve something, guys, you just take something back or go get something and bring it back. I'll often go in the park, and if there's a dog there, I'll throw something to him. He'll go and retrieve it and bring it back to me. That is retrieve, the verb to retrieve. Retrieval is the noun form. Sometimes you'll talk about document retrieval. If you're talking about computers, going to go get some files and bring them up, or go get them and use them, retrieve.
Okay, so they're on a quest or they're on a mission to get those diamonds back from the Duke of Buckingham. And if they get the diamonds back from the Duke of Buckingham, then they will save the Queen's reputation, and people will not believe that she's having an affair. She will be a virtuous queen, and she'll still be respected by the good people of France. So again, we've got Athos here. He's one of the 3 musketeers. He also tells D'Artagnan the heartbreaking story of his wife, and the wife is a criminal whose shoulder was branded with the image of a flower, the fleur-de-lis. Okay, so if you're branded, of course, they take a hot iron and they touch your skin. It hurts like heck, but then this image is left behind. They would often brand cattle or maybe slaves back in the day, just to say who owned this particular person or animal. And of course, Athos, is telling D'Artagnan this story. His wife is a criminal, but she's got this flower on her shoulder. And Athos thinks that she's dead now. She's a criminal. Maybe they caught her. Maybe they executed her. So that's the story that Athos tells D'Artagnan.
So meanwhile, or while that's happening, something else in our story is taking place. D'Artagnan falls passionately in love with Milady. So if you're passionately in love, oh my goodness, you love someone so much. That's all you can think about every day is how much you love them. You can be passionate about other things, though. Instead of people, you might be passionate about some hobby you have. Maybe you love to paint. Maybe you love to play basketball. You can be passionate about a lot of things. Passionately here is an adverb. What kind of love is it? Oh, he's falling passionately in love. Passionate is an adjective, though, and passion is the noun form of that verb. Passionately, adverb, I mean. So she is indifferent to him. If you're indifferent to someone, it means you couldn't care less about them. If they come, and give you something great. If they don't, who cares? So she's indifferent to him. That sometimes is even worse than someone hating you if they're indifferent to you, but you love them. And so their relationship with each other is filled with deceit. Deceit here means lies. So they try to deceive each other. That's the noun form. So anything you're doing by concealing the truth or actually lying is considered deceit.
Indeed, and later she attempts to kill him. She's tired of him, so she tries to kill him. And around this time, D'Artagnan discovers that Milady has a fleur-de-lis on her shoulder. Remember, that's kind of that flower that symbolizes France. It's on the flag of Quebec.
Yeah.
It's also on the helmet of the New Orleans Saints football team in the NFL.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And yes, she's got this on her shoulder, so that exposes her, thus exposing her as Arthos's lost wife. So it turns out that Milady is actually Arthos's lost wife. To expose means to reveal something that was a secret before.
That's right. So it's kind of sad because the Musketeers capture Milady and she is executed for her many crimes. If you're executed, you're put to death. Usually by the government, but criminals can also execute someone. But it's usually the manner in which they kill someone. For example, having them kneel down and shooting them in the head, which sounds terrible, I know. Surprisingly, Richelieu is impressed by D'Artagnan's perseverance. This is a great character trait you can actually work on. Perseverance means you continue doing something even though it's very difficult to do because you're anxious to achieve some sort of goal or achieve success. You don't give up. You're determined. You are going to persevere. So she or he is very, very determined to keep trying to help. And Richelieu writes D'Artagnan a commission, proclaiming him a lieutenant of the Musketeers. Here, commission just means they're giving you some sort of role or position in the military, and he makes him a lieutenant of the Musketeers. So he's actually the leader of the Musketeers at this point.
And that's how the story ends. Okay, so there's a summary of the story. Right now, everybody, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
接着我们来看到第二段中间，黎虚留他想要陷害王后，在这里提到 To frame the queen, Richelieu sends a spy, Milady de Winter, to steal 2 of the sashes diamonds. 他呢，为了陷害王后而派了间谍 Milady 出来，去偷取饰带上面的其中2颗钻石。Frame 在这里当作动词，有陷害跟捏造的意思。举个例子来说，被告的人说他受了诬陷，你就可以说 The accused man said he had been framed. OK, 所以呢，这个间谍去偷钻石，后面故事继续发展到中间句子提到 D'Artagnan and his friends go on a quest to retrieve the diamonds from the Duke of Buckingham and save the Queen's reputation. 达泰安跟他的友人踏上了一段寻找之旅，为了要从白金汉公爵手中取回钻石，并且要挽救王后的名誉。这里的 quest 当作名词，有追求跟寻找的意思。They went to the cave in quest of hidden treasure. 也就是说，他们到山洞去寻找宝藏。而他们去寻找什么呢？ To retrieve the diamonds. retrieve 当作动词，有重新得到跟收回的意思。To retrieve my bag 也就是去取回、收回自己的包包。他们这么做就是为了要挽救王后的名声。在第3段一刚开始听到 Meanwhile, D'Artagnan falls passionately in love with Milady。在这个同时呢，达泰安深深爱上了 Milady。那么在这里的 passionately 也就是有非常热情的意思。后面发生了，其实他们中间的关系充斥着许多的欺骗。Later, she attempts to kill him。那么呢 Milady 想要杀掉达泰安。Around this time, D'Artagnan discovers that Milady has a fleur-de-lis on her shoulder, thus exposing her as Athos's lost wife. 在这个时候呢，达泰安发现 Milady 的肩膀上面有鸢尾花饰，因此呢，就揭露了她是 Athos失踪多年的妻子。我们来看一下 expose 这个动词，有揭露跟揭发的意思。如果说到他们的阴谋被揭发了，你就可以说 Their scheme was exposed。接着来看今天文章的最后一句 Surprisingly, Richelieu is impressed by D'Artagnan's perseverance and writes him a commission proclaiming him a lieutenant of the Musketeers. 出人意外的是呢，黎虚留因为达泰安不屈不挠的精神而对他感到相当的敬佩，所以就写了一份委任书，要宣布他晋升为火枪队的副队长。这里的 perseverance 则是有坚持不懈、坚韧不拔的意思。OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That is it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and join us again next time when we actually talk about the author of The Three Musketeers, Alexandre Dumas. Please join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.